1,000,000%. I hope more people check out their stories. I would like to cover some more of them just off what we've seen in future ones. I'm hyped.
Mm-hmm. Well, without further ado, guys, as always, thank you for watching. And if you've been listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, we appreciate you all for listening along. It really does mean a lot. And until next time, we hope you stay creeped.
Stay spooked, you creeps.
Stay spooked, you creeps.
I like that one because I said it the other way one time and Hunter yelled at me because it's apparently a bad word. So I apologize, but I like that one. Stay spooked, you creeps. Thank you for watching.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
If you're living with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis or active psoriatic arthritis, symptoms can sometimes hold you back. But now there's Skyrizi, so you can be all in with clear skin. Things are getting...
Welcome back to Cream Crew. Oh my God, wrong show.
Leave it, don't touch it.
Please don't.
Don't touch it.
Please, people will be so mad at me. Please don't.
Staying in the episode. We are at no. I refuse. We're keeping it. There was such confidence. You were so ready for that one.
Please, for the love of God, do not keep that.
That was so good. Oh my gosh. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cream Crew, the show. The other podcast that Hunter doesn't care.
Welcome to Creamcast!
No.
I'm sick. Leave me alone. Today we're talking about psychosis. Psychosis, a staple in the creepypasta lexicon. Once again, as always, my dear listeners, I've never heard this. So if you're along with me in this ride on Spotify, thank you so much for going to Spotify or any of the audio platforms to listen to this episode. And if you haven't done that yet, maybe consider it. It helps us out a lot. Would appreciate that. But I am looking forward to this. Isaiah was the one who said that we should do this one. This is a staple. So Isaiah, why don't you give me a little background into what this episode is about?
So Psychosis is one of the classes. By the way, do you even do for Cream Crew? Do you do a big welcome back to Cream Crew, or did your brain fuse both intros?
I do it.
I'm not letting it go.
I do it sometimes.
Oh, that was so good. Oh, that made me happy. I feel vindicated. Anyway, for me, who actually cares about you all, Psychosis is a creepypasta classic. It's one of those that were popular at the time. I've talked about it before, but in like old school creepypasta day, like 2008, maybe like 2012, 2013, there were some that were remembered for being famous, like Slender Man, Jeff the Killer, and there were some that were remembered for being very well done. Stuff like No End House, or perhaps Baraska, or stuff like that. And Psychosis was among the latter camp. So Psychosis is a classic. I remember everything regarding the setting of the story. I don't remember how it ends, and that may be a good thing or a bad thing. I remember I liked it, but I also remember liking stuff like No End House more because it was more jumpy and pulpy. I think I'm going to appreciate Psychosis more now than I did when I was like 10, 11 years old or whatever.
I'm
so
curious.
I'm looking forward to revisiting it.
Yeah, I'm curious. You said that you like No End House more. I thought No End House was cool. The reception of No End House, I feel like, was kind of lukewarm. I feel like when people were done with it, but I really enjoyed how, like you were saying, very pulpy. I kind of like the little mindfuck aspect of kind of a loopable, almost purgatory of going through these houses and having to endure these trials. And I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I will say, No End House, I don't think I saw many people recommend that one as much as I've been seeing a lot more people recommend like Psychosis and Stolen Tongues. So I'm super stoked to get into this one.
Next Gen 529 is Maine's education savings plan. Many Maine families add money to their accounts or get matching grants along the way. Open an account and set up automatic contributions from your payroll or bank account. Get a one-time $100 automated funding grant after 6 consecutive contributions. Good to grant up. Open an account today at nextgenmoney.com. To learn more about Next Gen 529's investment objectives, visit the office. Read program description available at nextgenmoney.com. And see terms and conditions of Maine grant programs for details about eligibility and other conditions and restrictions that apply at nextgenmoney.com.
I want to do my part to do something that is sustainable.
If I see a problem, you just ask the question and you bring people together and figure out how to fix it.
I'm frustrated and I want to do something about it.
We at UNE are literally answering the call. I love this planet and I want to see it be as beautiful when I leave as it was when I got here.
This video is sponsored by ZocDoc. As I get older, my brain only has enough room to hold on to the important things, like names of cult leaders or embarrassing memories from the 7th grade. So when it comes to things like finding the right doctor in my area and then remembering subsequent appointments and meetings, that's not as high on my list as it should be. And thankfully, now I have ZocDoc to fill in the blanks and find the right doctor every 9 learn. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors. Choose the right one for your needs and click to instantly book an appointment. With ZocDoc, I can filter by doctors that are nearby, ones that will accept my insurance, and other patients' ratings of said doctors. We're talking about in-network appointments with more than 100,000 healthcare providers across every specialty. From mental health to dental health, eye care to skin care, and much, much more. Plus, ZocDoc appointments happen fast. Typically within 24 to 72 hours of booking, you can even score same-day appointments. Most of us won't go to a restaurant or even a clothing store unless we know something about it, have a recommendation, or check out reviews online. But when it comes to doctor's offices, we're willing to just walk in and hope for the best. Now with ZocDoc, you can start taking care of yourself the way that you deserve. And let's face it, you don't want to admit it, but you should probably see a doctor. So stop putting off those doctor appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/creepcast to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. Again, that's DocDoc.com/creepcast. ZocDoc.com/creepcast to start taking care of yourself the way that you deserve today. Thank you all so much for watching the show. Thank you so much to ZocDoc for sponsoring the episode. It really does mean the most. Hope you all check them out. Link is in the description. And now, let's get back to the show.
Hey, hold on a second. Today's episode is sponsored by Manscaped. There was one time I was holding my ankles up by my head, and I had a small Brazilian man shaving my balls. And he nicked it. Ooh, ow! And I thought, man, I wish I had a better razor for this. And luckily, I came across Manscaped. You know that feeling of dread you get when you walk down a dark hallway at night? That's the same experience I have when I go to shave my balls and taint. Most of these places are selling wood chippers, and I am lucky if I can make it out alive. And my balls and my taint. That's why I turned to Manscaped. The sun is out, and so is more of your body. Whether it's hanging by the pool or flipping burgers by the grill. And Manscaped is here to make sure your meat stays neat this summer with the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra. The package has it all, like the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, the Weed Whacker 2.0, The crop sealer aftershave lotion for your balls. And the crop preserver anti-chafing yarn. But that's not all! As a little treat, Manscaped has also thrown a pair of the Boxers 2.0 and the Shed toiletry bag to keep all your goodies in one place. Make sure you don't turn your meat into a canyon with Manscaped. Right now, at Manscaped.com, you can get 20% off and free shipping with code GREENCAST. That's 20% off with free shipping at Manscaped.com with code GREENCAST. Thank you so much to Manscaped for sponsoring this episode.
The other thing about it is, like, the modern audiences are pretty spoiled with, like, the amount of horror content out there, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Like, back in, like, 2011, when this story was first written, there weren't a ton of stories like that. I just think they're so fun, like, gauntlet-style stories. Like, I think probably the biggest example we've covered on Streetcast would be the left-right game. Of, like, we hit a new environment, what's the creature, what's the threat? We hit another environment, new threat, stuff like that. And No End House was one of the first popular examples of that, at least as I can think of right now in, like, online horror communities. Which, of course, takes, you know, reference from older stories, things like we talked about 9 Layers, probably a Dante's Inferno reference. There's other examples of stories that did that, but as far as, like, online pulpy horror goes, there weren't that many. So at the time that it came out, No End House was a really big deal. But I understand that now, in 2024, if that's the first time you hear it, there's a lot of stuff that does things similar and better. So I understand that part of it. But Psychosis, I'm pretty sure, is still fondly looked back on. Like, even comparable to modern stories, people like it a lot more. And I went into No End House not with the idea that it was going to be, like, such a super great story that was going to blow me away. Just kind of more like, I liked this when I was younger, does it hold up now? And it still did. But Psychosis I have higher hopes for as far as writing.
Yeah, I mean, we're reading this on creepypasta.com, and I mean, some of these comments, man, are like, here's one 2020, 2021. I mean, this thing was published in 2010, and we're still getting comments that are this recent that are talking about how much they like it, which I think is cool too. Also, at the bottom of the page here, it shows that Matt Dermersky, hope I said that right, has a physical book called Psychosis: Tales of Horror. You can still go to Amazon for only $10, which.
Today, I'm going to show you how sales reps can use Einstein AI to quickly find the best leads and then generate custom sales pitches. Because in sales, there is a lot of time-consuming work that has to happen before you even get a chance to pitch a potential customer. You have to sort through leads and decide which ones are the most promising. Then you have to come up with a sales POV and write custom outreach emails and follow-ups, and all of that needs to be personalized and engaging. Look, I have worked in sales. I am one of you, okay? Well, what if I told you that the real tedious and time-consuming part of that could be automated? So not only can a new sales rep get started really quickly, but it frees up a lot of time that they would have spent doing those tasks. In fact, it can lead to a 50 increase in productivity. 50%. That's like hiring 2 sales reps and getting a 3rd one free. I like that. And it may seem like it's going to be complicated, but it's incredibly easy for anyone to get started on this without having to learn a whole new software platform. So let me show you how. Now, let's say you're a brand new sales rep. You're staring at this list of all these leads that you see here, and of course, you need to take those.
I really, really love when these authors have physical books. I love getting them. See, with like Pen Pal, and even the Pen Pal's offers, the authors, what's it, Badman?
Batman?
Wasn't that what the...
Oh, the Batman.
The Batman,
yeah,
right.
The Batman, yeah.
And I got that on hardcover. It's just cool seeing that, like, physical representation of these books. Mm-hmm. I think that's a long way. I mean, I really do think having physical copies of books is just a fucking cool thing to do. So I will be picking up this Psychosis book.
Yeah. It's so awesome when, like, because all this was initially for most people was like, there wasn't any money in it, at least, like, you know, 10, 12 years ago. There wasn't any money in it. It was just like, oh, I have this cool horror idea, let me post it online. And then there'd be like in-house sort of writing competitions on websites and stuff like that. And people were just doing it for the love of it. And now to see some of those same ideas be able to publish hard copy works and get, you know, notoriety online, it's very cool. Very very cool to see. So yeah, Matt Demarsky made this. We're gonna see how we like it, but at least culturally, it is very fondly remembered. So be sure to support him. But I'm excited to hear your reaction to it because it is, knowing what I know about you and your taste in horror, I think you're gonna like it.
I am very excited. Like I said, as always, going in blind, I do not know what to expect, so I'm looking forward to it. I don't know why, but my mind is giving me vibes of. I haven't even seen the movie Longlegs yet, but I like the psychological thriller aspect of that. I don't know why, but something deep down is telling me that it's going to be something like that.
I will tell you there is a direction you're going with that. I'll also, like, you are thinking in the right way. I'll also say I'm so excited for Longlegs, I can't.
Oh, dude.
So.
It's been a good year for horror so far, man. A lot of good stuff. The last movie I was super stoked to see in theaters was Late Night with the Devil, and that was a lot of fun. So, Longlegs comes out this month. I'm very, very excited.
Mm-hmm. I watched Late Night with the Devil the other night. It was really good.
Mm-hmm. Super fun.
All right. So, on that note, are you ready to go ahead and get into this? 'Cause
I'm ready to jump in.
I'm very excited. Now, I will say, the version we're reading again, it looks like the earliest because it seems Psychosis won online awards in 2012. There's like short film credited 2014. The version posted to creepypasta.com is from November 3rd, 2010, which appears to be the earliest version of it that was at least syndicated around a lot. So if there's any versions that came later that had like edits, like stuff added or taken away, I'm not positive, but we're going off of the creepypasta.com version. For this.
And to specify, the award that it won was the r/no sleep best. Was it like continuous story or
multi-part story?
Multi-part story. And he uploaded that in 2012. So, I don't know. We were kind of speculating a bit before the podcast was recording, and we're wondering if, this was uploaded to creepypasta.com in 2010, and then while r/no sleep was happening around then, I don't know if it was super popular yet. So I'm wondering if by 2012, if it's like, it finally caught up traction to where he was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna upload there too.
Yeah, I think by 2012, No Sleep was popping off enough that it was kind of like the place to.
Well, I was just saying that
Pasta.
that was probably the height, right? Yeah, that was like the peak of 2012. So, which is kind of cool to think too that that's when he got his award because there was so much, content by then that he probably really had to stand out. So I'm curious.
I'm excited. Well, without further ado, are you ready to get into this? I'm ready to get into this. Let us begin. And again, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for the support they've shown. Is the merch still available to get at this point?
I'm trying to think. If it is, please go check it out. If not, the support of the merch has been awesome too, and the reception of people like stoked to get it. We're excited for it to be in your hands. The quality is great, so we look forward to it.
You all supporting the channel like you do. It's awesome. It means that maybe one day I can finally break away from the hellhole hunters and trapped in the den. And you won't force me to be in it. But that was funnier than anything I was going to say, so I'll leave it. All right, but thank you all for the support you've shown me on the audio platforms, on the YouTube channel, on Creep TV, on the merch. It means a lot.
Oh, and I just want to say too. Well, I definitely know, so I hope you all rot in hell. But the idea is, I wanted to say is also, Isaiah, you should plug the tour here, the Stalker tour.
Oh, that's so sweet of you. I appreciate that. So, as a lot of you probably know at this point, I made a short film I co-wrote a short film and helped produce it along with Evan Royalty and Stephen Hancock, creators of the SCP films on YouTube, which a lot of you are probably familiar with. And we're so proud of our little egg that we've put together that we are taking it on a limited tour. So through August and the first weekend of September, we're going to be going to Brooklyn, New York, Tampa, Florida, Dallas, Texas, and Los Angeles, California. So if you want to come in and stop, say hi to us, meet us, watch the film, and then ask us questions about it, meet the cast and crew, there's tickets available to do that at x1entertainment.com/stalkers. I think, I'm not sure the exact number of tickets sold out right now. If I had to guess, it's probably 70%. I know some people were saying that the VIP tickets were already sold out to some of the shows, and general tickets weren't far behind last I looked. So there's not that many left, so if you're interested, get in on that while you can. Come meet, hang out, and to everyone who's already supported me in that, it really does mean the world. I appreciate it. You all are awesome. Thank you, Hunter, for allowing me to plug my shill onto our podcast.
No, I mean, I think it's...
I'll be sure to not extend that.
If I can find... Okay, well, I appreciate that. If in the future, whenever the shows are happening, if I can make it out to one, I'm going to try to make it out to one. So, we will see. No promises, though. No promises.
If there's not a seat, we may drop it in from the ceiling, just like straight into the stage.
My girth, my sheer weight will collapse the theater. Children will scream.
We're going to shoot him like an orbital strike. Through the roof.
The Iron Dome goes right through the ceiling. All right, let's get into Psychosis. Let's do it.
Anyway, Psychosis. Yeah. So, Psychosis. Psychosis, the story is broken into basically journal logs, taken over the course of a week. So, of course, we start with Sunday. I'm not sure why I'm writing this down on paper, not on my computer. I guess I've just noticed some odd things. It's not that I don't trust the computer, I just need to organize my thoughts. I need to get down all the details somewhere objective. Somewhere I know that what I write can be deleted or changed. Not that that's happened, it's just everything blurs together here. And the fog of memory lends a strange cast of things. I'm starting to feel cramped in this small apartment. Maybe that's the problem. I just had to go and choose the cheapest apartment, the only one in the basement. The lack of windows down here makes day and night seem to slip by seamlessly. I haven't been out in a few days because I've been working on this programming project so intensely. I suppose I just wanted to get it done. Hours of sitting and staring at a monitor can make anyone feel strange, I know. But I don't think that's it. I'm not sure when I first started to feel like something was odd. I can't even define what it is. Maybe I just haven't talked to anyone. That's the first thing that crept up on me. Everyone I normally talk to online while I program has been idle, or they've simply not logged on at all. My instant messages go unanswered. The last email I got from anybody was a friend saying he talked to me when he got back from the store. That was yesterday. I'd call with my cell phone, but reception's terrible down here. Yeah, that's it. I just need to call someone. I'm gonna go outside. And then there is, assumedly, a breakage in time.
2. It's a number that brings us together. The perfect pair. Twice as fun as 1. And certainly heaps above 0. So remember, when it comes to getting your COVID and flu vaccines, roll up your sleeves, take care of you. Go for 2. Talk to a healthcare provider or book a pharmacy appointment. Learn more at gofor2.org. Brought to you by the Maine CDC.
Funds in a NextGen 529 account can be used for so many types of education, like community college and 2 4-year college and university programs. Funds in a NextGen 529 account can be used for other types of education too, including many training or certificate programs, trade schools, and even apprenticeships. And if your child doesn't opt for any of these types of education, you can change the beneficiary on the account and use the funds for a sibling or other.
I will deactivate the security lock. Wait here. right here. I will deactivate the security lock right here. I will deactivate the security lock right here. I will deactivate the security lock right here.
Well, that didn't work so well. As it...
Well, that didn't work so well.
You're... Well, that just happened. Well, that didn't work. Well, okay, I'll keep that out of the story. It doesn't deserve it yet.
Yeah.
It might later, but not right now. Okay. As the tingle of fear fades, I'm feeling a little ridiculous for being scared at all. I looked in the mirror before I went out, but I didn't shave the 2 days settle I've grown. I figured I was just going to go out for a quick cell phone call. I did change my shirt though, because it's lunchtime, and I guessed that I'd run into at least one person I knew. That didn't end up happening. I wish it did. When I went out, I opened the door to my small apartment slowly. A small feeling of apprehension had somehow already lodged itself in me, for some indefinable reason. I chalked it up to having not spoken to anyone but myself for a day or two. I peered down the dingy gray hallway, made dingier by the fact that it was a basement hallway. On one end, a large metal door led to the building's furnace room. It was locked, of course. 2 dreary soda machines stood by it. I brought a soda from one first day I moved in, but it had a 2-year-old expiration date. I'm fairly sure nobody knows those machines are even down here, or my cheap landlady just doesn't care to keep them restocked.
How do you picture this like little house looking that he's in? I mean, it almost feels like a commercial space.
Yeah, it's kind of like, have you ever seen the hallways, like, in shopping malls and stuff? Like, when you go to the bathroom, the way those, the hallways behind the stores are built? Mm-hmm. I imagine it's kind of like that, with, like, a stairwell next to it. This sounds really nerdy, but if you ever played Left 4 Dead 2, like, the visual in my head is, like, the back hallways and staircase places in the Dead Center campaign. That someone out there will understand what I mean. That was so hyper specific, but
I have no words.
Okay, well, yeah. Anyway, yeah, like that, like a shop. What's local YouTuber trying to describe shopping mall? It's like a video game. I'm like, what?
It was the story starts off with him living in basically a windowless basement. It was probably dirt cheap. And I did something very similar when I was in college, and it gave me flashbacks, and I almost thought for a second someone was writing a story of my life, and it made me very scared.
It gave you a flashback. So do you have a mental picture in your head of like what this looks like? I imagine like there's a stairwell outside of his door.
Yeah. So what?
Like humming machines being the hall. It's kind of dark down there.
I shared an apartment my sophomore year of college with a 53-year-old Mexican custodian.
I know what you're thinking. Here's another movie about a famous musician. His meteoric rise, his fall, and his ultimate redemption. But my story can't be told in an ordinary way.
Now play.
Orladeyo berotralstat is the first and only oral therapy designed specifically to prevent attacks of hereditary angioedema, HAE.
Before Orladeyo, I had a lot of inflammation in my throat. After starting Orladeyo, I felt well enough to be able to go back to school. I think that now I can take more control with my life.
Orladeyo is a prescription medicine used to prevent HAE attacks in adults and children 12 years of age and older. Orladeyo should not be used to treat an acute HAE attack. Take 1 capsule once per day with food. Do not take more than 1 capsule of Orladeyo per day because extra doses can cause heart rhythm problems. The most common side effects of Orladeyo include abdominal pain, vomiting, diarrhea, back pain, and heartburn. Talk to your doctor about all of your medical conditions and any medication.
Who did not speak any English. And it wasn't the best. I swear to God I did. It was split barrack style. We had it was like an open floor plan thing. I got to live there for free, which is why I did. I lived there for probably about like 6 months. Unbelievable. But when you went down to our room, it was like
basically from the kitchen, because it was like an old house built in like the early 1900s. So like it was a big, probably like 6-bedroom house, and in the kitchen there was a door that led to the basement, and then we lived in the basement part, obviously. But there was also, like you were saying, a storm like hatch door that led from the outside in, so you could like kind of the very stereotypical like wooden doors that open up from the ground. You walk down into the basement. So in my mind, it's something very similar. Exposed cement, probably cracked, fucked up foundation because the house is old. You know, like probably a drain in the center of the room, a storm drain just in case water leaks in from outside coming down. And then
Didn't you also live like in your car for a while?
So I graduated college, yes.
Okay, are you like 38 years old?
I am 42.
You have a never-ending, just like avalanche of like, well, I was here for a year, and that was of course when I was in tenement housing with a non-English speaker who had like 8 children. Anyway, then after that,
You're giving the man, you're giving the definite alcoholic that lived with far more credibility and character than what he had. He had no family, and he would get very angry. Not at me, but he would listen to football on his radio by his bed, and he would scream.
Start yelling?
Yes, and he would scream.
You spent 6 months living in a basement with a non-English speaker who would scream at the radio.
Yes, sir.
And drink.
Well, he didn't scream at it every night, but he did do that. He did bring, you know, let me finish. He did bring ladies back sometimes, and I would politely leave to give the man some privacy. I don't know how. He worked at a college, because I was a sophomore in college. He worked at a college like 3 blocks down the road from the college I was at. So he didn't work at the school I worked at, but he worked at one of the like local schools as well. And yeah, he's a fine guy. Remember one time we got really drunk, we watched The Cable Guy together? Hysterical. I don't even think he knew what the fuck they were saying. It was the craziest part of it. He just, every time Jim Carrey came out, you know that part in The Cable Guy when Jim Carrey Matthew Broderick is having that nightmare sequence, and Jim Carrey has like the glow-in-the-dark contacts on. He's like, no big deal, and starts sprinting towards the door. The guy, I don't know what his name was Diego, but he sat there and he was like, Jim Carrey! He would scream his name. And he would laugh hysterically, and I'm like, I don't know if he's just really drunk and if he's just excited to see Jim Carrey, or if he knows what's going on in this movie.
At some point, you're making these stories up. I swear. Like,
you know what? You can think that all you want. All I know is that 6 months flies by when you're in school.
Okay, I'm telling everyone what you did to me. Okay, I asked him one time in confidence as a friend, which I know a lot of you people don't think we're friends, and you know what? Maybe we're not.
You skew the narrative very heavily that we are not friends. That is you.
Yes, now, because with this information, just wait till they see what they do with this one. I asked him in confidence, I'm like, Hunter, how old are you? And this man, he looks me in the eye and says, I'm 21 years old, okay? And I'm like, no, what? That's younger than me. I'm like, nowhere. Are you serious? He's like, yeah, you know, I just started making animations in high school, just grew up. And I have, at the time, I have no reason to not believe this man. He's my friend, so I thought. And for like a month, I would like casually make jokes about me being older than him and be like, haha, you're right. Then I listened to an interview he does on YouTube, and he's describing living in a car, his time in college, everything. I'm like, oh, okay. So he would have been like living on the road when he was 13 years old, going off of that math. And then I asked him, to this day, he won't tell me. He still won't tell me. I'm furious over it.
How old is
I wouldn't believe it. I wouldn't believe a thing. Unless I see your driver's license, I refuse to believe you. And it's constantly. So when he says he was living with a guy who didn't speak English in the basement of a college that the guy didn't work at, who periodically get drunk, laugh at Jim Carrey, and yell at the radio.
You're skewing the narrative. It was in the basement of a house while I was in college, not the basement of a college. He worked at a college. He was a custodian at a college. His name is Diego.
Okay. It was just
respect those names, and he loves.
You were both in a
Cable Guy.
neutral basement, unrelated to either college.
We were in a basement of a home, like a 6-bedroom home, that was close enough to both of our colleges. Our colleges were very close. I went to at our school, and he worked at like basically a private, like, state school kind of thing.
Okay.
It wasn't like a state
this,
school.
And this would have been when you were, by the
A
age you
sophomore.
told me, 9 years old.
Yeah, so if we're going by years that you were, yeah, it would have been 9, almost 10. But no,
So
I was a sophomore.
You were certainly molested.
I can't confirm or deny that. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and say no because Diego's too good of a man. And Diego, if you're listening to this, K-Pasol.
He can't. He doesn't speak English.
Oh, well, that's why I'm speaking Spanish, and I would say, Google Translate. I miss you, man. I miss you. I have no idea if he's even still alive. I hope he is.
Okay, so that's the basement our character's in Psychosis.
That was a very long tangent. I was fucked up mentally thinking about that. It was so specific.
That wasn't that you. That was all you. Because we were just trying
I know.
the basement.
I know. I'm sorry.
Reference, and you're like, that reminds me of a story.
If I didn't say it, I would have combusted. My face was flushed.
I agree. You need to get that out on the air. You need to put that in the podcast. Don't get me wrong.
All right.
Compilation channels have to find something to throw out, right?
Yeah, we have to have those cool little
Have
moments.
you seen that guy Darbo? Have you seen him on
Darbo?
YouTube?
No.
Yeah, it's Darbo or something. We will make a Creepcast episode. He will post a highlight reel within like 30 minutes of the episode going live.
Goddamn Darbo.
Instantaneously.
How do we
like,
hire Darbo?
I didn't, dude, that guy is a machine. I went and commented on one of them, like, are you our editor? Like, what? How are you doing this?
No, I just see his channel now. This is unsettling. This is unsettling. Well, Darbo, if you're looking for work, let us know. Maybe he could be our official clips guy.
There you go. We'll just get the clips guy going and give it to the TikTok guy, and then the two of them can like kiss and make out or whatever and make videos, I guess. Yeah.
I completely forgot what's even going on in this story.
Okay, so
he was trying to make a call, and he's like, well, that didn't work.
No, what happened is he went upstairs. Okay, so he goes upstairs to make a call, and then he comes back and he's like, something weird happened, and now he's describing what the exit to his apartment is like, because he lives in the basement of an apartment building.
Right.
With like the machines down the hall and stuff. So all he was doing so far is he's telling us the story of what went wrong with him making his phone call.
Correct.
And then he steps out and it's like in the basement hallway with two vending machines at the end of it, right?
Yeah, he's going crazy because he's like, I'm going kind of crazy down here. There's no windows. I feel like I haven't talked to anybody, but it's gonna be like a day. But he's a little stir crazy.
So he goes to make a phone call. Right? Sure. So a small feeling of apprehension had somehow already lodged itself in me for some indefinable reason. I shocked to death not having spoken to anyone but myself for a day or two. Appeared down the dingy gray hallway, made dingier by the fact that it's a basement hallway. I already read this entire thing.
Yeah, but go ahead.
read this paragraph. Okay.
That's fine.
We're gonna go to the next paragraph.
No, keep going. Just basement hallway. You're almost done. Might as well.
We will get emails from the electricity company telling us like, hey guys, today there's a heat advisory. Make sure you don't overload the grid. My name is Enrique. I'm originally from Mexico. I've been living in the States for about 11 years now. I'm working with a roofing company for door knocking and comes to a lot of people, and because of that I use my phone a lot. I want to say the main appliances that I really need is the internet, because my wife does online sales. There's very frequent thunderstorms, so now having the F3800 in my supply is a game changer. At the beginning of 2021, there was a big storm that hit the area. There were places who lost power for up to 10 days. We just have had my middle child, the sensation of like, okay, so we're so happy, everything is awesome, and then blah blah blah. What's going on? And the heat from the house goes away faster than you think. Felt like an eternity. Had I had the F3800, that would have been a complete game changer, because I did have a portable heater, but nothing to run it with. The F3800 would have given me so much more peace of mind, because we cook at home every day, we watch clothes almost every day. We gotta make sure the food in the fridge stays good. They need something with the power of wattage, the voltage, the inverter, something that can actually talk to your house, run everything. And my fridge was gonna work. I could charge my phone pretty much indefinitely. I want to say for someone that's on the fence about getting an 3800, I want to say just go for it. It has brought a lot of peace of mind to my family.
It's been 12 minutes since we've actually read this part, so everyone's forgotten.
Now I'm just imagining, like, through all of this, there's just like a Hispanic man in the room who just doesn't.
I'm not gonna lie, in my mind's eye, I did picture Diego there. I was gonna ask you, like, yeah, he's in the basement with it. I'm like, and where's the guy come in? Oh,
And where's Diego?
No, it's my life.
Diego the vending machine? Is that why he's talking about the vending machine?
Yes, that's right.
So Diego will make an appearance, I'm sure. It'll go crazy. I rear down the dingy gray hallway, made dingier by the fact that it was a basement hallway. On one end, a large metal door led to the building's furnace. It was locked, of course. 2 dreary soda machines stood by it. I bought a soda from one the first day I moved in, but it had a 2-year-old expiration date. Fairly sure nobody knows those machines are either down here or my cheap landlady just doesn't care to get them restocked. I closed my door softly and walked the other direction, taking care not to hear the sound. I have no idea why I chose to do that, but it was fun giving into the strange impulse not to break the droning hum of the soda machine, at least for the moment. I do get that. Have you ever been to like a really quiet place and for some reason you're like, I shouldn't make a lot of noise, you know?
No.
Okay. Alright, so I got to the stairwell.
I'm trying to put myself in the mindset of being like, I don't want to break the droning hum of the soda machines. I don't know if people are going to start yelling at me again with the license plate fiasco, but sorry, I don't give a fuck about the droning soda machines.
Okay, hold on. I more so get it in nature, like when I'm outside, and not for like, oh, I don't want something to see me. Just like it sounds so calm that I'm just like light footsteps, like I don't want to, disturb the peace, so to speak. And I could get that in like a more industrial area, kind of like it's so calm here, why we're in it. I remember being a kid, we went to like a really big church when I was a kid, and sometimes when I'd go downstairs to the bathroom, there were like these long hallways around the church, like in the basement area, and it kind of had that like, the fluorescent hum thing. And I remember just standing out there sometimes and thinking like, man, it is so quiet. Like you can hear so much every little detail. And I kind of get not wanting to disturb that.
Right. Don't want to break the silence.
Yeah. Not like a fear thing, more of almost like a social fear thing.
Right. No, that makes sense.
I got to the stairwell and took the stairs up to the building's front door. I looked through the heavy door small square window and received quite a shock. It was definitely not lunchtime. City gloom hung over the dark street outside, and the traffic lights at the intersection in the distance blinked yellow. Dim clouds, purple and black, from the glow of the city hung overhead. Nothing moved, save the few sidewalk trees that shifted in the wind. I remember shivering here, though I wasn't cold. Maybe it was the wind outside. I could vaguely hear it through the metal heavy door, and I knew it was that unique kind of late night wind, the kind that was constant, cold, quiet, save for the rhythm of music that made as it passed through countless unseen tree leaves. I decided not to go outside. Instead, I lifted my cell phone to the door's little window and checked the signal meter. The bars filled up the meter, and I smiled. Time to hear someone else's voice, I remember thinking. Relief. It was such a strange thing, being afraid of nothing. I shook my head, laughing at myself silently. I hit speed dial for my best friend's Amy's number and held the phone up to my ear. It rang once, then it stopped. Nothing happened. I listened to silence for a good 20 seconds, then hung up. I frowned and looked at the signal meter again. Still full. I went to dial her number again, then my phone rang in my hand. startling enough. I put it up to my ear.
Hello?
I asked, immediately fighting down a small shock at hearing the first spoken voice in days, even if it was my own. Oh, that's interesting. That's a strange note. I'd gotten used to the droning hum of the building's inner workings, my computer and the soda machines in the hallway. There was no response to my greeting at first.
You may not retrieve the index. Protocol requires that I take possession of the index for transport. You are organic for reducing vulnerable to infection. The index must be forward to the hands of the front before we reach the control room and activate the installation. The flood is spreading. We must hurry.